Welcome to the Audacious OBM podcast. I'm your host, Leanne Woff, creator of OBM Academy and founder of Audacious Empires. Each week, my crew and I will explore all things building and scaling an exceptional OBM business. This podcast is here to share how you can charge premium prices, have clients lining up to work with you, and never have to work another weekend again. You can have a thriving OBM business working with the clients you want, when you want, and charging the price you want. It's time to banish mediocre and become the standout, sought-after OBM you know you can be. Hey, amazing human. Today, we are going to walk through a little bit of my history. I'm going to talk to you about how I went from charging my OBM clients $2,000 a month to $4,000 a month each. Pricing is tricky. That is a belief we tend to have, and it is something we tend to tell ourselves. We can be confident in our skills. We can be confident in our ability to work with clients and speak to clients, in our ability to get them outcomes. But when it comes to sticking a price tag on that, we wobble. I say we because I have spoken to so many OBMs, myself included, and we all find pricing a bit tricky, and it is a mindset that we are battling against and will continue to battle against until we master it. But mastery can come in iterations. So I want to talk to you about one of the iterations that I took, hoping that it helps you. When I first started as an OBM, actually, I called myself a general VA at the time. I was working on an hourly rate. And so I would charge people X amount of dollars per hour that I worked for them. And at the end, I'd spit out a bill and say, hey, this is how long that task took. And they would pay me money. I slowly started to expand out how many clients I took on until I was at capacity. All of my time was filled and I couldn't grow anymore, which means my income was capped. And so I read a book. It was called The E-Myth Bookkeeper at the time. And in that, it was a lady named Debbie Roberts, and she was talking about how she helped bookkeepers expand their bookkeeping practices. And one of the ways that she would do it is say, get yourself to capacity, then make another you. Take half of your workload and give it to that person. So that's what I did. I hired somebody who had next to no skills at the beginning, and I trained them thoroughly in everything that I did. And I explained why I did the things that I did and my thought process. And I made videos and I made tasks. And together we really learned how to be a team. But I gave half of my workload to them. And then I started to fill her capacity until she was getting full. And so then I was faced with that same issue. Now we're both full, except I'm paying her a wage. I'm getting a little bit money on top of her wage, which is then getting us to where we are, and I'm still at capacity. I wonder if there is a better way to do this than how I'm currently doing it. And then I learned about packaging. I did a lot of different training and a lot of different courses, but I did Brand Builders Academy with Suze Chadwick. And one of the modules in that is about packaging. And so I learned about this packaging concept. And I then looked at all the different things, different skills that I had, that my employee had, and I made a big, massive spreadsheet of all the different things. And then I thought about the clients that we had. And the things that were common for them. Okay, across the month, these are the tasks that we're doing on repeat. These are the things that they need even if that's not what they came to us and said they needed. This is what we're doing on a regular basis. And then I started making packages. And while I was trying to create these packages, I also experimented with retainers. So where I said to my clients, hey, instead of sticking with this random however many hours a month we do is how many we do, let's create a minimum per month so that then I can manage time and capacity and you can manage your budget. And so at the time, I think it was 10 hours a month that I did as the starting point. Everyone who worked with us would have to commit to a 2-hour per week minimum. And it was my belief that anything less than that was pointless. You couldn't get anything done, and it was a waste of their money and a waste of my time and wouldn't get them results. So that's where we started. So I did that for a little while and then still felt like we're doing things, but we're not getting anywhere. Until I had finished making my packages. Now, these packages, I had looked for patterns. I had looked for these common things that people were needing from a high level view. And then I put them all into groups and I priced the groups. Okay, if we're going to do this combination of tasks, generally I know if you want us to do email marketing, it means that we're going to need to coordinate the process of that so that you need an internal process for how you approach your email marketing. We need to be able to work with somebody on your team to get the copy together. We need to build it into the platform and make sure you have a template. We need to manage your email contacts before we're sending it. We need to make sure that we're sending it on schedule, that we have the topics that we're talking about. We need to be able to gather the images for this. We need to be able to send it back to you for review. And then we want to be looking at the metrics. Yes, I literally just rattled that off the top of my head. But those are the things that we do when we're doing email marketing. That became, say, one package. And I did this for a few different ones. And then I really felt like I had too many because I had kind of gone by topic and went, well, that's not really, doesn't feel good for me. And then I learned about outcome-based packages and value-based packages, and I was sold. Hook, line, and sinker. So what this meant is that I could look at all my clients, I could look at what I was doing for them, and I could sit and think about the value of what I was doing, how that felt for my clients. What value did that give them? Not what stuff was I doing, but what did it really mean? What goals did it help them achieve? And what was my way of doing that? And so then I created packages that were in 3 tiers that were based on those kinds of goals. I knew if you were in the first 2 years of business, you probably had some of these goals, and these are some of the activities that you would need that would go into that, and here's why. And here's the kinds of things that you would need from an OBM to be able to really help you here. And then the next stage and the next stage. So I mapped it all out, and I had multiple iterations of this until I came up with something that I thought, yeah, this could work. Now, if it was me on my own, I would never have published those packages, ever, because I was scared. And I would have sat on them and tried to perfect them and never tested them. Except that I was in this program that was like, you have to go and release them now. And I wanted the tick of approval. So being at capacity, I couldn't take on any more work. Me and my employee were both full. And I needed a way to be able to charge more for what we were doing and to be able to do the right things to get the client results so they were happy to pay more for what we were doing. It was all positioning and a little bit of tweaking and a heck of a lot of risky confidence. So overnight, I put my packages on my website and I doubled the price of those packages. So instead of it being a minimum to work with us of $2,000 a month, I changed it to 4 and said, what do I have to lose? I can see where the value is. Like, I've thought about it. I've looked at it. I can see it. And the right clients will hopefully see this too. This is what people tell me. So filled with anxiety, I hit that publish button. And do you know what happened? People bought it. And then another person bought that package and another person. And the clients that I got were better. They were more fun to work with. They were giving me the ability to do the things that I really enjoyed doing and being able to see the results of doing those things. Was it that the clients that I had previously were terrible? No, not at all. It's that I had positioned these packages to be around the things that I was constantly frustrated I wasn't able to do because of a limited budget or because we were focusing on the wrong things. Whereas these packages I had come up with based on what those outcomes were, based on what those goals were that I knew because I'd seen them and I'd seen the ingredients that went into them. I was just never able to always say to people, these are the ingredients, just let me do it. But when you have a package, those ingredients are already included. You've already bundled it all up. And so then being able to double prices and sit with how uncomfortable it was, I really didn't have anything to lose. The only thing I was losing was time and testing, which I didn't see as a loss. I still was at capacity. I was busy. My employee was busy. We covered all of our expenses. We were making some money. The purpose of this activity was to try and find a better way and a more enjoyable business. And that is what happened. That's the result. And so today I really wanted to give you just that overview of the imperfect flow that I went through to do that. Because when I tell this story in OBM Academy, my students look at me and they're just like, how could you ever double your prices overnight? It seems so far away for them. But then when I break it down, they kind of go, oh yeah, okay, I can see that. And it opens possibility. And that is what I want for you. I want you to have possibility. I really do believe that if we all can work on our pricing together and making our packages better and serve us better so that we're not overworked, we're not overpaid, that we're delivering the best quality of what we have to offer, the whole industry is going to raise. And then these issues that we have with people wanting, bargain basement rates will slowly dissipate because there will be less people charging those bottom of the barrel rates without even realizing that's what they're doing. So I hope that you found this useful. If pricing and packaging is something that you want to explore more, please go and check out OBM Academy. We go into this in depth. I teach you how to make these packages. I give you everything that I have learned, the templates that I used, the training that I did. We look at the mindset issues. I review the packages themselves and help you. So if this is something that you really want to take to the next level, whether you've been doing this for 1 year or 6, OBM Academy is a good option for you. So leannewoff.com/OBM Academy, and you will find it. Have a great day, guys. Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of The Audacious OBM. We hope this episode has helped you move forward in your journey to being a standout and sought after OBM. If you enjoyed the episode, take a second to rate and review. Each review helps us to help other OBMs just like you. If you're interested in learning more about OBM Academy and all that it offers, head over to audaciousempires.com to get all the juicy details. We'll be back next week.